What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings, a series of course we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United, and we have a little talk about it. And this is the last week of the transfer window, the week where everything starts hotting up, and a week where Leeds really need to make some action, because let's call a spade here. We are in absolute dire straits right now. I don't care what anybody says. We are up shit's creek, and that paddle is running very, very, very thin. That is just a fact. We have nothing really going for us up top. Dan James seemed somewhat decent, I guess you could say, in the last game against West Brom. Aside from that, without Sinistera, without Somerville, without Gnonto, we look absolutely shot up front. We look decent in the midfield, you could say, but still very easily bypassed when teams run the ball against us. And defensively, oh my days, there's more holes than in IHOP. And the reason there's holes in IHOP is because you can get waffles. You can get a lot of holes in waffles, if anyone's ever had them. You probably have. Be surprised if you hadn't. In fact, it was probably the most stupid thing I could have said. Nonetheless, not the most stupid thing anyone could have done, because if you're talking about stupid things people have done, boy, have Leeds United done a lot of them. And that's just talking about this summer. I mean, £0, £3 million, and any other kind of release clause we want to slide into it. If only we could have release clauses as fans. Unfortunately, that's not a thing with Leeds United. Once you're in, you are in for life. Speaking of someone who is not quite strapped in for life, thankfully for him, not thankfully for us, because we really need him, is of course Wilfried Gnonto. And there's been a lot of news coming out last night surrounding Wilfried Gnonto and his future over at Ellen Road. The latest news does actually come suggesting that he has been put back into the matchday squad by Daniel Farke. I'm sure a lot of you have probably read this last night before you went to bed. Now, this is something that is not necessarily good for Leeds, but it's not necessarily bad. Now, it depends how you want to take it. I'm such an idiot. I put the wrong bloody article up. Here we go. That's a little bit of a spoiler for the next article. But Graham Smith himself is basically presuming that this means that Leeds are going to be willing to put him back into the first team squad, and that he is going to stay. They think this is basically saying, oh, Wilfried Gnonto is going to stay. It doesn't necessarily mean that, because I have heard some mixed reports and rumblings about the fact that Everton are willing to come back in with another improved offer, and that maybe Leeds are willing to sell it because Gnonto's had a bit of a meeting with Kinnear and Farke. I don't 100% know. I'm going to err on the side that he's had that meeting, and it does seem like, with all the information that's been going around, he will potentially stay, because Leeds have put our foot down and said we're not going to sell him. Now, obviously, the question marks around Gnonto, which I want to get your thoughts on, is he ever going to be welcomed back into the club? I don't think he'll be welcomed back with open arms. I don't think he's going to be a fan favourite, and I don't think he's really going to be on too many people's shirts, first of all, because even if we do keep him, we don't know for how long. We probably think he's going to be off in January, or definitely in the summer if we don't get promoted. I mean, hopefully we do, and that's not something that we need to think about. But a lot of us probably thinking we won't even keep him past January if we do manage to keep him now. And the way that he's gone about trying to get this move is, quite frankly, for me, appalling and disgusting. A lot of people have been throwing a lot of hard words about him, but for me, like I said, this is business. And the first rule about business is that there is no emotion in business. It's not really the first rule, but it's a very key rule. And there is no room for emotion in business. And the business is, Leeds need to get ourselves back into the Premier League. A lot of you are probably going to disagree with me on this. Not for the first time, granted. But for me, I don't think we have the choice. I really don't think we have the choice. We got to keep him. We got to keep him. Because, as I said before, the lack of quality we have going forward without someone like Wilfried Gnonto in the team is staggering. And I don't care if it means I'm going to have to, swallow my dignity and, swallow my pride as a Leeds United fan to accept Wilfried Gnonto back into the team if he can help us get promoted. I'll take that sacrifice. Even if he's gone in a year. Even if he pisses on the floor on the way out. I don't care. I'll take that sacrifice just to get Leeds in the Premier League. That is how desperately I want us to get promoted. That I'll happily do that. Now, you guys can say a lot of things, whatever you want about it, but that's my take on it, at least. What do you guys think? Do you guys think you'll ever accept him back? Do you think we should accept him back? Do you think we should keep him? Do you think we should get rid and try and bring someone in who wants to play for Leeds, but it's very hard to attract that quality of player? Even if we did have £30 million for him or whatever, it's very hard to attract that quality of player to come down into the Championship. At least with Wilfried Gnonto, we've already got him locked in to the Championship, so it's just about trying to stop him from wriggling away. Speaking of players wriggling away, one man that might be wriggling his way out of the Premier League to the Championship is Mr. Cameron Archer. He is obviously signed to Aston Villa, but Leeds United now apparently lead the race to sign Cameron Archer. Preston North End obviously have been after him for a very long time. However, it does seem like Leeds are potentially willing to pip them. Although, I don't know who Leeds are going to pip for any signing, because right now we've had about as much movement in the transfer window as a still image. And I know I use that one a lot. The former North End loanee came off the bench for Villa in their win over Cannons Everton on Sunday afternoon. Everton, who are trying to steal all our players as well. So, that's not very fun now, is it? The Football League World now report that the two clubs leading the race for Archer are Leeds United and Sheffield United. And if Sheffield United go in for him, unfortunately, again, it sounds horrible, but how are we going to be able to compete? I don't know. Maybe with game time, potentially. But apparently Sheffield United have already failed with a £10 million offer, and Leeds are apparently willing to, bolster that up with a more improved offer. And if we do get some money in, potentially from Wilfried Gnonto or other sources, then we might be able to make this move happen, and that could certainly appease a lot of fans. Now, another forward Leeds are potentially looking to sign is Kelechi Iheanacho. Now, if we manage to get this one done, I will be shocked, okay? Yes, sure, Kelechi Iheanacho is not the player that a lot of people thought that he was going to be. He is not the player that, was touted. He was really touted to be when he burst onto the scene at Man City, and he had the best goal to minute ratio in the league. He had a better goal to minute ratio than Aguero, granted, because he played such few games. He moved over to Leicester City. By all accounts, it seemed like a great move for him. Okay, it was another team who just won the Premier League a couple of years before that. It was a team where he was going to get a lot of game time, and he could really flourish in the Premier League, which he already played a substantial amount of game time in Man City. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite worked out that way. He's been very, very inconsistent for Leicester. However, in the Championship for Leeds, it could be a very, 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 very good acquisition. He is very physical. He's very quick. He's got great dynamic movement. How do you guys feel about it? Now, the story goes on to report that the Foxes do not want to let him go, but he will be available at a cut price deal this summer due to the fact that his contract is slowly running out. Palace are also very interested in him. They see him as someone who can potentially back up their squad if they do lose Jean-Philippe Mateta. However, we still don't know if that deal is going to go through, and they are going to lose him. Obviously, 26 years of age. Could slot into Leeds' side perfectly. Do I really see this one happening? Probably not. What about you guys? Do you guys think that we have a massive chance of signing Kelechi Iheanacho? And if we do you think that it's a good move that we should make anyway? There have also been... Oh, bloody hell. I don't know why I was switching that screen for. There have also been other stories surrounding Leeds being the favourite to sign Cameron Archer. Some big news coming through that one. Cameron Archer, Kelechi Iheanacho, Wilfried Gnonto. A lot of news coming through the forwards today with the Leeds United. Which one would you rather have? I'll put it this way. If we were able to get Wilfried Gnonto... If we were able to get Kelechi Iheanacho, if we were able to keep Sinistera, Gnonto, and Somerville, we could have a good chance. we could have a good chance. The Sinistera thing, again, breaks my heart the way he's moving. Breaks my heart more than Gnonto, to be honest with you. Gnonto, I'd kind of expect this kind of thing from, but Sinistera, oh, that rips my soul, man. That rips my soul. I love that man. The way he's moving does really hurt me. And the final story of the day is surrounding these two men. It is, of course, Lewis O'Brien and Glenn Kamara. Leeds have been very, very, very lucky in the fact that we made a good acquisition with Iheanacho this summer. Obviously, a guy who can play both midfield and centre half. And I have to say, Archie Gray has put in a few impressive performances in these past few weeks. But at 17 years of age, can you rely on him for a full season? With Tyler Adams gone, if we get an injury to Ampadu, we could be left very, very thin in that midfield position. So I do think we do need to make some more signings and bolster it up. Now, Leeds have been previously linked over the past couple of days with Lord Voldemort himself, John Joe Shelvey. Not a move I'm too keen on personally, and that is just simply because he's a bit too lazy for me. Yes, he brings a lot of quality. He can ping a long shot in like nobody's business. He can spray a great, cracking 20, 30-yard Hollywood pass around, and he's got a better rifle pass than 90% of our team probably, and certainly more than 98% of the championship, and more than what championship clubs can deal with. But he's just too lazy, and the things that you would lose in your build-up play and everything about the team in order to facilitate a play like that at this stage of his career, I don't think is worth the risk. Now, Leeds are obviously looking elsewhere, it seems, and looking for Lewis O'Brien, who have been heavily linked with over the past couple of years. It just seems like we can't get that deal made for some reason. We couldn't get it done in the Premier League. What makes you think we're going to get it done in the Championship? Well, we'll have to wait and see. A Premier League club currently, Sheffield United, have been the ones that have been very interested in him. However, apparently Leeds are the front runners, and if we are able to make this £10 million evaluation, or meet this £10 million evaluation based on promotion, then we will be able to get him. Obviously, the reports are stating that it is going to be a loan deal, which will trigger into a permanent deal if we so get promoted. Will it happen? Will it not happen? I certainly hope it does, because as I said, I think we're very, very thin in that midfield department. What about you guys? What do you guys think? There is also some news on Luis Sinistera, who has been the aforementioned Luis Sinistera, should I say, who has been linked with Brentford, who are trying to get a loan deal done for him. I'm letting all our players go on bloody loan deals this summer. Jack Harrison trying to flip in loan deal to Everton, but apparently Leeds are unwilling to do so, as it doesn't seem like it's giving us much value, especially considering we just paid £20 million for him the other day. You know, one man on the other hand who would give us good value would be Glenn Kamara, who's fallen down the pecking order at Rangers due to the new manager Michael Peel not really fancying him that much. And I think it would be a fucking brilliant move for Leeds United to get Glenn Kamara over the line. Will we get it done? That is yet to be seen, because I've been hearing Glenn Kamara for the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, and we're not making any moves. Why are we not making some moves? Some big money moves? I don't know. We need to start getting this ball rolling, but apparently the story does say that Leeds are closing in and that he is heavily favoured by Daniel Farke. So hopefully we can get that move done. But let me know what you guys think about all of these moves down in the comment section down below. For now, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Au revoir, my brothers and my sisters.